School committee had an executive session. However, there were no votes taken in executive session. Item number 4, Chair will entertain a motion to approve the open session minutes on regular meeting of July 26th.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Executive session minutes on July 26th.
So moved. The appropriate section of Rhode Island State law.
Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no correspondence. We have no public comment. Item number 7, consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Motion made, second. Any questions on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, superintendent's report. Mr. Goho.
Thank you, Dr. Pilata. We'll take items A and B together. I am requesting approval by the school committee of the North Providence High School Student Handbook and the North Providence High School Course of Study as submitted in your packet.
Motion made to approve.
Second. Discussion?
Any questions?
Yes.
Mrs. Picard.
So I did talk to the superintendent, but just to be on the record, one, I have complete faith in the North Providence High School administration, faculty, and staff that they do a great job with our kids around discipline. So this is specific with the code of dress code. So as many of us know, dress codes were written many, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, before females were in leadership roles. But my concern, and I've never seen this happen at the high school, I've always felt they were very flexible, but the dress code is still mirroring the old sort of thinking. So I would love them to take a look at that, to things, for example, an example would be the fingertip rule. As a parent of a child who is above average in height, they do not make shorts that are fingertip when you're a tall young lady. So while I will never want kids to come to school like they're dressed for the beach or inappropriately, I just want to make sure that we're mindful. And I've always found the staff at the high school very thoughtful about things like that. So that's not my issue. It's just that it still says things like that. So I just want to make sure that our practices are mirroring what we're saying. So like I said, I have all the faith that we'll continue to do that. Just want to make sure we start working on that consistent language that we actually use so that we don't have things where maybe are not respectful of the way we do things in our 21st century high school.
Yeah, I would just say that I have had a conversation with the high school. They are receptive and in agreement. And so they're going to be looking at some sample language that accomplishes what they want to accomplish in terms of the appropriateness of coming to school, but also using language and expectations that are more modernized. So I'll be coming forward with something probably within the next month or two that shows revisions to that piece of it.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B.
Next item is I would request approval by the committee of the Kids Club before and after school child care contract extension of 1 year. This is the last year, and we will be going out to bid shortly for a new contract.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item D, I would request approval of the local 1033 Medicare Advantage sales agreement, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island as submitted.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions on item D? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is I would request approval of the local 920 MOA regarding attendance and after-school professional development, all things specific to the Right to Read Act as submitted.
Motion made to accept. To approve, excuse me.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F.
I would request approval by the school committee of the general education mentor job description that has been revised, and we're going to be bringing back a process that we had in the school where we had mentors in each school to help with our non-tenured teachers, and they had someone on site that they could go to in addition to the coaches that we have had through the induction program. So we're bringing that back, and we think this is really going to help our non-tenured teachers, having a veteran teacher in the building that they can go to, and I would request approval of the revised job description.
Motion to approve, and I'm happy with doing that.
Second.
Any questions? In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item G, I would request approval by the committee of the grant that was received at Ritchie Middle School. It is the Learn 365 Rhode Island After School Coordinator job description. Ritchie Middle School has received a grant from the Learn 365 state program, and we will have various after-school activities provided to students at Ritchie through this grant, and we will have a person who will be coordinating that for the school year, so I am recommending and requesting approval of the enclosed job description.
Motion made to approve.
Second. Any questions?
Just one, is that the late bus?
Yep, the late buses.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is Assistant Superintendent update. Mrs. Sexton.
Thank you, Superintendent Goho, and members of the school committee, Chairman Pilata. Try to be brief. I'm just going to review some of the summer learning that took place over this past summer, which was quite a bit. One of the first things that we did in the district was have a Algebra 1 Readiness Summer Camp that was through a RIDE grant and very well received, and actually was highly commended by Department of Education. We actually had a visit from the commissioner and the governor, who signed a citation there for the summer learning project that he's working on. But it was very successful, and it was really neat that in the summer program, grades 9 through 11, they worked on a project-based learning program, which they looked at the actual traffic congestion on Smithfield Road. So it was real-world problem solving, and they used not only mathematics, but they had engineers visit. They did a really great job. The police also got involved, so it was really a great program, and that was coordinated by Maria Bronco, our department chair, and math teachers. So thanks to them. There was also the summer math program that typically takes place at the high school for those students who need to make up credits and just work on enrichment, and that was also very successful. So that's an algebra, geometry, and algebra 2, and they used our ALEX program that we have through McGraw-Hill, which is an intervention program. So that was a total of 63 students, grades 9 through 11, and those students showed an average of 8% growth based on that short time, which is very positive. So it just shows you, the graphic that you have there shows you the difference in terms of the pre and post test difference, which is 30%, which is excellent. We also had our ESY program, extended school year program for our special needs students. There were a total of 88 differently abled students in that program. And the goal of that program is to alleviate academic and functional regression over the summer. And so the programs they worked on, there was an intensive program for those students who need to work on academic achievement and functional skills, and also academic resource program for those students who are working on their individualized education goals. That was very successful too, and I want to thank Mr. Peters for heading that program. And also this year we had our first annual primary literacy clinic, which is a partnership with Providence College, and Dee Gambardella, who's also an adjunct professor there, one of our reading specialists, headed that program. We had 36 K-2 students. This was all free, paid through PC. Graduate students that worked with our students. So we had Stephen-only students and also some students from Wayland. And that was about 36 students. So those graduate students worked on explicit reading strategies, all based on the science of reading. And that, again, was very successful, and I've attached some data there for you. And then our high school AP results, which were shared with you previously, we tested 142 students and administered 242 exams. And this is from Crystal Bazokian, who's our chairperson of the Social Studies Department. This pass rate increased 17% from last year, so that's really quite remarkable, and credit to all of the teachers and the students. And there's some data attached for you there. And just continuing the work, we had our first orientation day this past week, which was very wonderful to see students again in the classrooms, visited all the schools. We saw all the teachers and just talked about our goals for this year. And we're continuing our work on our high quality curriculum, as well as on the 10th of September, we'll be working on a few things, including safety training. We're also going to be working on the iReady assessment program. We had a training on the 22nd for some teacher leaders, and now we're going to continue with all the teachers K-8. And just continuing our great work with our learning walks. debrief meetings, and really having great discussions about instructional practice. And our right to read training, we're continuing this year. So we're probably within one more year, we'll be done with that training for the whole district. So we're really proud of that.
The reason I retired.
Any questions from the
Yeah,
committee?
just amplify science.
Yes.
That's middle school now. That's not high school, correct?
No.
What's
There's nothing vetted for high school that's high quality that covers all of the content.
Oh,
that
he's
we
over
need.
there. He knows what he's doing.
He knows. Amplify Science is K to 8
All right.
rating, but there are a couple of things that are out, but we need biology, physical science, chemistry. Where's Mr. Cicerone? As he knows.
Does amplify include kits?
It does.
Good.
It has simulations, it has kits, hands-on, and it has, it's all related to this, the core standards, but the NGSS standards. What's great about Amplify is that it's highly aligned, not that we're teaching to the test, but it's very aligned to the way that the assessment is given.
Kudos, Mr. Seitzinger and Ms. Van Avery and Mr. Peters. A lot of enrichment going on around the district this summer. A lot of programs continuing to close the learning gap post-pandemic. Buildings were busy all summer long with students, so that was a good thing to see. Gave me kids to visit over the summer, so I'm appreciative of that. But it's great to see that we were still plugging, the summer months with efforts to increase student achievement. So there's a lot going on, a lot to coordinate. Kudos to our teachers and administrators who worked hard over the summer.
Thank you, Mr. Seitzinger. Item number 9, we have no school committee reports. We have no old business. Item number 11. Mr. Goho.
Thank you, Dr. Pilata. First item A is I would request approval by the committee of a new policy, which is the use and display of flags policy on school grounds.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Questions?
I have a question.
Mrs.
First of all, I
Picard.
think this is excellent that we have this policy, and I appreciate that we're doing this. My only question is I'm wondering about, God forbid, but we all know what's happened when we've lost an employee in the district. Would this allow you the opportunity, if needed be? Because I know sometimes my staff will say, we have a policy when an employee passes or things like that, or God forbid a student, where we fly the flag at half staff. So we have certain protocols with that as well. Is that something that the town's ever done? I'm not.
That would have to be from the governor or the president.
I know, because I'm in a district that's very flag oriented as well, but there is a criteria that they use when there's a loss in the community. Just wondering.
Yeah, this policy does not include any provision for the school department to be able to lower the Rhode Island or the state, or the national flag to half staff. So Attorney Scungio, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that. My understanding is the governor and the president have the authority to do that, but if a district has its own protocol to do it, that's something that's feasible.
Okay. The policy provides that the flag may be flown at half staff to coincide with the state doing the same. So we simply follow what the state protocol is.
I'm just saying, we're not a military organization, but I think we may want to think about how we also honor our own in North Providence as a sign of respect, which, like I said, I've come from in a district that is highly organized around the military. There is a definite sense of community when you have one of your own that passes, and I thought that, and I didn't make that policy, it was there when I got there, but I thought it was a very thoughtful policy, and I thought that it was a very great way to show that the community rallied around their own as well. So I'm aware that you can do it. I just think, like I said, I'm going to vote for this. I just think that we want to think about other districts that do, on behalf of their fallen.
Sure, we can check that out for you.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B.
Okay, so we have a number of updated policies that we can take all in one motion. So I would request approval of the updated revised policies that.
Joe, the
Yeah,
grade.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, the grade, I thought the grading was going to be removed because it's not updated. Right, it's still on here. Unless I have the wrong one.
Yeah, we're gonna table it, right?
Oh, you
Yeah.
are? Okay, thank you.
Yes, we're working on.
Thank you.
So the travel out-of-state policy and protocol. Excuse me, the travel and out-of-state policy and protocol as submitted, the student activity, special grants and other policy and protocol, also updated use of employee school credit cards policy and protocol, updated the North Providence High School early college access policy and protocol, the use of property policy, protocol, and facility rental agreement. I would request that the school committee approve all of those, and then we can take a separate motion to table item E.
Motion made to approve.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so I'll go back to item E and request that the school committee allow us to table item E, which is still in the revision process, which
I
is
don't think
the
you need
grading policy and protocol.
Yeah, I don't think you
Need a
need
motion.
us. Yeah, no, I think we just table it.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Do we need a motion? Or do we?
You can skip,
You-
you can skip it if you like.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Next item, I am requesting approval by the committee of the enclosed bid for the organics hauling for the USDA recycling grant as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item I, requesting approval by the committee of the enclosed Gateway Healthcare Services MOU.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J,
Requesting approval of the enclosed Medicaid reimbursement services contract for special education.
So moved.
Second.
any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So item K, this allows me the opportunity to update the committee on the health and safety project at McGuire Elementary School. If you recall, with some of the significant and substantial rainstorms that we have received over the last few years, we identified a need to increase the drainage at the upper and the lower playground and parking lot areas at McGuire. So we submitted an application upon school committee approval to begin that process and then to seek reimbursement from the state. The state did approve that work for reimbursement. So during this current fiscal year, we would be receiving the reimbursement on that project at our reimbursement rate. Subsequent to that, we discovered and realized that we had the opportunity to address further problems with the playground, particularly the grass area, which is not irrigated, and other surrounding areas at the playground. And we contacted the Rhode Island School Building Authority. We informed them that the initial scope of the project went beyond our initial expectations, and that there was another phase that we would be entering into over the summer. As you know, the school committee a couple months ago approved a quote for a turf at the McGuire Playground. We informed the Rhode Island School Building Authority of that. There will be additional drainage that will have to be installed along with that. And we have been told by the Rhode Island School Building Authority that that would be considered part of the project and eligible for reimbursement. So with your approval tonight, we will submit another application to the School Building Authority, and the expanded scope of that project also will be subject to reimbursement. So we're really happy about that. If you go by McGuire, the hill that was washing away has been totally enclosed in what is called riprap. It's been enclosed by a fence. There's been extensive drainage that's been installed, and the last stage is drainage and the turf where the worn out grass where the children played. So this will make the playground usable, safe, and durable for all kinds of uses. So I'm requesting approval by the committee to allow us to submit the Rhode Island School Building Authority application for reimbursement of the McGuire Playground Drainage Project, specifically the expanded scope of the project.
Motion made to do that.
Discussion,
Any questions?
discussion?
Chuck has a question.
I just actually one comment. I just want to publicly thank Mr. Perillo, who's been on top of this pretty much all summer. They're doing good work. I know it's almost completed. I just want to publicly thank you for being on top of that.
Good job, Chuck.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is I would request the committee approve the recommendation to terminate the employee that we discussed in executive session.
Motion made.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is I would request approval by the committee to approve my recommendation to approve the settlement as submitted.
Motion made to approve the settlement.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Last item is I would request the committee approve the memorandum of agreement with one of our employees as discussed in executive session and as submitted to the committee.
Second.
Second?
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Goho. Item number 12, approval of bills.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions on the bills?
Just one. The, it was about 28,000, oh, no one said an answer, sorry.
Mr. Priscilla.
That's okay. You could.
There was some special education bills, and I think that's last year's budget, about 28 grand.
Yeah, we still have invoices coming in. They'll be declining, but typically 60 to 90 days, we'll still have invoices coming in for the general budget and special education. I don't know if you specifically know the bills that Mrs. De Silva is referring to, but that is
At
fairly.
the top of the bill, yeah, okay. So that's last year's, okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13, use of property requests.
Motion to approve?
Second?
A lot of them.
I know.
Motion made.
Motion
Well
to
said.
approve.
Any questions on use of property? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, we have no request to address the committee. We have no pending business. Before we adjourn, just want to remind the committee that there will be a ribbon cutting ceremony for the auditorium on Friday, September 6th at 9:30. And secondly, I would be remiss if we didn't, as a committee, congratulate Mr. Goho on his award for the 2024 Superintendent of the Year. There will be a celebratory event on September 25th here in the cafeteria downstairs and also here during the school committee meeting. So for those that are watching in public, I just want to remind the public of that. And we want to congratulate you officially, Mr. Goho, for representing the North Providence School District with dignity. So we all thank you for that. If anybody else has any comments, you're welcome to that.
I'm gonna wait for the big celebration.
Well, thank you
What
for
is
your
it?
hard
Just to
work.
clarify, Joe, is it 2025 or 2024?
Yeah, they name it as 2025 because then it carries
Yeah,
over
2025,
into
okay.
next year. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion made. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.